Okay, so allegedly this is now streaming, but before we do anything else, I'm going to check that it actually works in terms of sound, because sound is a useful thing to have. I need to tab back to the game. Oh my god, wherever that's gone. There's Microsoft Flight Simulator. I need to go Twitch. Live. Switching to live mode. Play. Sound. And do I hear myself? I bet I don't, because I think that has not gone to the right setting. Now it has. Okay, right. So testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do I get out of this thing? I don't want to be in Stream Manager. I just simply want to be home. Computers and apps, for fuck's sake. It's so difficult to do with a fucking headset on. Minimize, please. Twitch. OBS.
Oh.
Where? Hello? That's someone else. Seriously, don't play someone else's stuff. Thank you. Because they are shit. And I'm better than them. I can hear. Because they are shit. Wow, that's amazing. So basically the app doesn't work. Fine. I can hear. Right, sorry about that. Wobbles. Wow, that's amazing. So basically the app doesn't work. Fine. I can hear. Right, sorry about that. That's repeating itself. Right, let's turn that one off. Before we can fly, I need to set that. So go to OEJN, please, from there, accept route and fly. I am not going to do VATSIM for the time being. It's connected. This is just going to be their flight tutorial. Okay, so I'm doing this in VR because I enjoy it. This is, oh crap, DC Designs Concorde. And the plan is to try and fly this the easy way. What the? Excuse me. You've just smashed my nose off, you idiot. Right. Yeah, so the easy way. There are a lot of controls, engine controls, buttons and other things which frankly don't seem to do very much. And I haven't noticed anything. So what I've worked out is an easy way to fly the aircraft. Pressing the right buttons at the right times, which is what I'm going to run through from here. So we're going to run as if we're going to be a transatlantic flight. We've got baggages and stuff. You can turn that off. Now, this fuel transfer window here is easier than using that fuel transfer window there, because you need to be monitoring this stuff here. I'm afraid you either do one or the other. You can't do both at the same time, which is why they have different people. And why have I not got pilot anymore? Co-pilot. Okay, let's get a pushback started via better pushback. So, we also need to know which direction we're going in. So flight should be taking off that way, so I need to push back. Let's just go straight out then to the right. One, two, enter, request pushback.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground.
Let's see if
Stand by.
noise comes through. Excuse me. VFR map closed. Would be really useful to check if I'm getting some sound through this thing. So cockpit to ground, what have you done? Have you done anything at all? Search. Oh, he's connected.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set.
sound is
You may
good.
lift.
Parking brake set.
Sound is
Lifting
good.
the
Sorry, I had
aircraft.
to test that. Lifting the aircraft. Right, aircraft's being lifted.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are
Parking
released.
brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay, so this is the easy way. You can set it all up if you wish, but your battery may run out, so you've got to be quick. So you need to set some macros or hit Control E to turn it all on for you. You suddenly get a code pilot, and now we're going to run through the things that I like to do. If you do this in order, so this is from Cairo International to OEJN, Oscar Echo Juliet November. If you do the same flight at the same times, you can fly at the same time and you won't have any of the problems which other people experienced. You won't need to run through all of the tutorials because you can fly the flight at basically the same times, because I'll press the buttons there. So I like to unlock the door because I'm a cargo flight technically. All that stuff has been removed. We don't have champagne. For anyone who's stowaway, so I put the beacon on, lights on, logo on, nav light on, and then this is important here, anti-icing. Whether it does anything I don't know, but I do it anyway. Visor anti-icing also seems to work. You can extend the lights if you wish, you don't have to. And taxi and turn if necessary. What you have to turn on though is your anti-stall. Whoa, 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 why did we suddenly get a huge throttle? Okay, I also need to... Hello, that's a bad turn. I'm going to reset the view, that's it. So I prefer to sit up a bit in VR, but in normal mode, it'll be down here. Now, all of these other controls here, such as engine rating mode, takeoff and everything else, I don't think it actually does anything. I leave it just as it is. Literally nothing. So what we need to do is we need to arm the INS systems, whatever it is, flight control systems, turn auto throttle on, 1, 2, flight director 1 on, and engine autopilot 1 and 2. You need to set a control on your keyboard to turn this off, and you also need to set a for some reason reverse thrust won't kick in right now. Probably because engines are starting. You need to make sure reverse thrust also operates. First thing we need to do is hit, is it control or shift? No, it's hold left, then right click. That's it. Scroll this one up to 240.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Left, right click, set. Nope, I've missed that. So left, right click. Left, right click. Shouldn't have done that.
Please set parking brakes.
Yes.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake is set.
Parking brake set. Lowering
Of course, it
aircraft.
means we're doing other things. Don't disturb me.
Ground. Startup is complete. You may
Flaps
disconnect.
to take off. They don't have flaps,
Roger.
but it's
Good
the
engine start.
braking
Clear
off
to
the nose.
disconnect. See you at the side. Have a
What will
good
happen
flight.
is the visor will
Holding
disassemble
position, waiting for the
and
visual.
tuck
Thank you
inside
and goodbye.
There we go. Down goes the visor. Hidden that way, nice. And then the nose will crack down so we can actually see where we're going. Otherwise, you tend to stick it into things like hangar doors. Right, so these things are now set. We've got parking brake is set. Here's something that's really important in VR. Oh, reverse thrust is working. Brakes on. Reverse thrust check. That is working. Okay, so a really important thing for VR view is that you don't get any indication of where your trim is set. Where you have normal flat screen view and go F2 and F1 and outside and inside, you can get options to show you where your trim is set. You need to look down here, and that is set at minus something. Sometimes it's set at minus quite a lot, which means you'll never take off, and you'll be like, why am I not taking off? This leads to much pain. So this can be set about, I think it's about between 2 and 4 for takeoff. I think, I forgot now, but I set it about there anyway. Okay, parking brake should be... Can't even read that now. Let's see where we need to go. Right, so it'll be Car International Ground, UK Tango 007 requesting IFR clearance to whatever. Yes, readback's correct. Requesting taxi to the active runway, which will be I don't know, is it 23 centre or 24 centre? Can't remember now. So we're going to taxi via whatever the numbers are around there. So I need to go forward then left. So let's just go forward and left. Okay. Put throttle up 40% for taxi. 40% taxi is fine. Oh, there's nothing you need to do is you need to minimize the in sound settings. You need to go in and minimize cockpit sound so it sounds like you have headphones on. Otherwise, this aircraft is so loud it is absolutely ridiculous. It's like, oh, I might. No one ever does that. Unless you're a fucking idiot. So, right, there are buttons that do things such as turn engine off and things, so emergency shutdown, I guess. I wouldn't go pressing these buttons if I were you. We are set up for basic flight. Now, the reason why I set the fuel at the beginning is balancing. In the manual for the Concorde, you must balance the aircraft for various different things, such as like takeoff 54 down there, for cruise and climb, which is 59, landing 54. I don't actually think it does need. I need to open my window. Sorry, my door, 'cause it's fucking hot. I don't actually think it does anything at all. The balancing, and I tend to just leave it. If you wish to do it, you can play with that lot. I have learned it, but it's so slow and you have to monitor it. It's ridiculous and not really worth doing. If you're doing a transatlantic flight and you're absolutely bored of doing that process, then do so. Otherwise, amend your fuel or alter your fuel from here. So we've got 54 and we have the first transfer tank in, where you'd adjust that. Let's stick that to 0 for time being. And then you can do transfer tank backward, rearward for 59 if you wish to do that either. Again, can't be bothered because it doesn't seem to do anything. Close. 40% taxi, please. 40% gives you a nice taxi speed. You can just throttle back a little bit afterwards. Hit barometer, click. These are important later on, the nav frequencies. We'll worry about these later. Oh, if you're flying all that's in, you need to go down here. We're not. Where the hell's the damn enter button? Beep. I think there is an enter button. Transponder is on. Swap nav frequencies. Select and change frequencies. Excuse me about cough and sniff. The flight computer we'll talk about in a minute. There are. It's not quite right for the real Concorde, but it is. It's okay for this. So Control 5 will be flight computer. Here we go. And then there's a few things that are interesting in there for landing. You will be using it often for landing. I believe it's the same as the Airbus programming, so you just program it the same way. Right, let's get that we're running over all these things. Gong. Okay, so there's two ways to take off. You can choose the Concorde way, or you can choose the lazy way. Lazy way is fine for me because it causes less noise. And you'll be like, What do you mean less noise? I'm not talking about noise abatement. I'm talking about noise abatement in the cockpit. So we'll talk about this quickly now. The Concorde, when getting ready for a takeoff over there, you would press all of these buttons down here. 1, 2, come on, 3 and 4 to turn them on. You would then sit in the main drag, you put your throttles up, so you'd be screaming like this, the afterburners would kick in, and then you'd shout 3, 2, 1, go. At go, you'd scream off down the runway, you'd pull the nose up, and then suddenly you find yourself at 250 knots below 5,000 feet, and all the alarms go off, making you panic. And the last thing you need on takeoff is klaxons and flashing lights, so we turn all that shit off. So to turn that off, I set indicated airspeed at 240. This is the easy way to fly it. Indicated airspeed 240 means it will hold at 240. It will use reheat if it needs to at 240 to keep the climb at about 2,500 feet per minute. So there's a few buttons we're going to do here. If you want to learn more about them in other YouTube streams, do so, but you've got to understand that if you hit altitude acquire on takeoff, you're going to crash. If you hit altitude hold on takeoff, you're going to crash. If you hit vertical speed on takeoff followed by autopilot acquire on, you will climb. Weird, huh? Then otherwise you're sitting buttons, pressing this and everything else. We don't want to be doing that. We want to have one button. We don't want alarms going off. We don't want to do this manually because you'll crash. You're getting the infinite loop of the nose up, bum down, stall crash, bullcrap. So we're not going to do that either. So if you follow what I do, this is the easiest way to fly it, the simplest way to fly it. You will be fine. Now we've got lights on. We're going to turn all these things off when we're in flight, but for now we're going to leave it. Realistic. So a couple of pre-flight checks. Let's put the brakes on, and we're going to hit parking brake set. Parking brake is set back. Make sure this is down to there. Make sure we've got 240 on there. 1, 2, 3 is on. INS is on. These are on. That's off. Anti-stall is on. These are on. Lights and everything else is on. So we've done this all in a check. Good. Right. Ready for takeoff. Couple of things. V1 not calculating is about 180 knots. At that point, you're going to shout rotate. Okay. Really loud. I will then forget what that meant, so I need to look in the manual, and once I've realised that, I'm going to pull the stick back hard till it hurts. If you do anything else than pulling the stick back hard till it hurts, it will not go up. You will be over the runway threshold, over the boundary, through the billboard signs onto the golf course, and they don't let us on the golf course unless you've pre-booked. So you must pull it back till it hurts, and we're going to do this in order. So double check indicated airspeed on. At that point the throttles come up. Reheat comes on, we just check. We're now about 90%, brakes off. Let's keep this going down the straight line. Make sure you leave the handbrake off, otherwise it slows takeoff. My seat is not actually very comfortable. My throttle in real life is actually back right now. I'm not controlling the throttle too. Right. 180 V1, we're pulling it back till it hurts. Now watch this. It's not going up. Like why? Because it's slow. Now we balance it on the rear wheels about here. Look down. Positive rate, gear up, and the throttle comes off to hold 240. Straight away go to vertical speed, hit altitude acquire, and look down here to make sure we're adjusting this up. Nose is coming up a bit more. It's about 2,500 feet per minute, which is good. We can now hit heading hold. So we've done vertical speed, altitude require, heading hold. We're just trying to leave the airfield boundary at the moment. The wheels are up. The nose is still cranked down, and we don't have any alarms going off because we're below 240. We're now climbing to 5,000 feet. I'm going to check the map to make sure we are going the right way. Zoom out on the map. We actually need to do a reasonable left at the moment, so staying at 240 knots, we're going to hit INS, and the aircraft's going to take over the first turn over to this way to get back on track. We will talk about some of the flight control of flight computers in a minute, because I don't like following all of this rubbish. There's no point we do a left turn, right turn, everything else. You can follow it at your leisure. I want to take a direct straight line there. Okay, so move on. You also don't want to be doing any of this rubbish in the Concorde. Okay, we are coming in at 3-4 degrees, so we need to set up for a manual landing so we capture Remedy. We don't want to head to Remedy first, so we're going to hit move all. Move all. So control 5 to get into that mode in VR is horrible. Direct 2, hit the up button until we see move all, hit button 4 for move all, left eye, temporary redirect 6, right click. That's now, oh gosh, 1. That's now done something on our flight computer. Yeah, down there. And when you have when you get the 2D view, it has the other head-up display stuff, obviously not in the real one, but in this it does. We can do that. Right, we're now set. We're now on course, we're now set. We're going to crank the nose up. Now we're going to set up for high-speed flight. You have to do this in order. You've got to set 28,000 feet. We're going to set 350 knots. We don't need to go much faster. Now, you'll notice the speed bug bar has increased, which means the alarms will not go off, but if you reach 400 it will, certainly at 5,000 feet. So we're going to take indicated airspeed off, throttles are full forward, noting there's no reheat. Nose of the aircraft comes down automatically as it's able to control itself in flight a bit better. And we're going to watch this. If you let this go over 400, about 450, when the alarms go off, because it says the nose is too hot, and you start to cook the nose of the aircraft. Bearing in mind, Concorde used to grow about a foot in length across the whole of the flight. Right, watch this. Indicated airspeed on. It's automatically on indicated airspeed hold. So I'm just going to hit again to slow the aircraft down. And now we're going to hit altitude require. And the nose will come up automatically. Fine. Okay, so here's a key point here. We're letting the aircraft do its thing to climb. It should be climbing about 2,500 feet per minute. We're going direct to the target. We're setting the aircraft up at 28,000 feet, flight level 280, so that we can climb and go to Mach 2. If you do this flight, you get to Mach 2 quite nicely. You've got a few minutes of flight to prep the aircraft ready before you need to descend again, which is nice. So we get to 60,000 feet. When I first started learning this, I was like, let's just do Mach 2. Let's just get to maximum altitude. Let's do everything, and you will crash. You'll be in a high-speed stall at about twice the speed of sound all the way down into that lot over there, and then no one will care about you because you're in a sandy aircraft free detachment area. So we need to set up for landing after that point. We're now 350. We're now climbing to 28,000 feet. There's literally nothing else to do apart from read a book. So I'm going to accelerate time. Oh, did I set my... Good. I need to do that. Right, let's accelerate time. Twice accelerate. Don't do thrice or 4 times because it won't work. You'll bounce all over the place. 10,000 feet. The first stage. Reset. Barometer. Good. Barometer's hit for standard atmospheric pressure 29.92. Which is 10 per 2 pressure. Excuse me. So a little bit more than atmospheric. Okay, picking up speed. I'm going to hit thrice just on the climb. Carefully it will start bouncing soon. So 3 times acceleration. Starting to bounce, 2 times acceleration. And the aircraft is still climbing at a little bit military power, 90%. Fine. 3 times acceleration. 2 times acceleration. 0. 1. Normal. Okay, now we're just waiting for this to hit and we're waiting for altitude acquired to come off. What the hell actually makes? See, this down here, if you really wish to mess around with it, it's supposed to be 59, but it makes a difference. I mean, we can do it just to show that it's done. Tab. You can do it over there on this console here if you wish. On this console here, messing around with all of this in order because there are several online things of what to do, but I think it's the only thing that works in that panel apart from engine start. But there's no real point because we don't have the time. So what we can do is we'll take all the fuel out of this tank, and then we're going to move the fuel back into this tank for the climb 59. Right, go away. We're now at 28,000 feet, which is what we're going to do. Altitude hold is on. We're now going to set 60,000 feet, flight level 600. Now, this bit's important. Indicated airspeed hold is on. We're just going to hit one button, max climb, on. Indicated airspeed is off, altitude acquire is off. We're now letting the computer do its thing and it'll be like, it's not doing anything. Correct. It is picking up airspeed, ready. The turbines are coming up to power, slowly, it's doing it. And in a second we'll have reheat. Turn off the toasters. This is important. If you don't do that, then you waste fuel. If you let it do its thing, it's all wrong. There's another button to press after that, which will be max cruise at vertical speed, and it's the equivalent of max climb. It will still set the same thing, but it gets to 60,000 feet. It accelerates itself to Mach 2. It doesn't cook the nose because at Mach 2 at 60,000 feet, if we could open this window here and put our hand out the window, it's negative 100 degrees centigrade. That's very cold. If we could then twist our hand back and touch the skin of the aircraft, it is positive 100 degrees centigrade. Now, obviously, that's quite a thing. So that means it makes the airframe grow up to 12 inches. It's about 30 something centimeters in size throughout the flight. If you pull the carpet up in there, you can actually see the aircraft grow. You can see it expand. If, however, you see daylight, let the stewardess know. That's quite important. Then there was allegedly a story where a captain once left his book, I think it was down here, certainly around this area somewhere, a hat or a book, and the aircraft expanded. As it contracted, it didn't go back to its original shape. Because it landed in America, it wasn't its original size and shape, so the Federal Aviation Authority said you can't fly it. It was literally grounded. So they had to... excuse me, sorry. This is after COVID again. So they had to get special permission to get the aircraft in the air. We're on our first step climb. The aircraft's doing automatically. They had to get special permission to get the aircraft in the air in order to send it twice the speed of sound in order to release the book so it could reshrink and go back to how it was. Right, we're going to now speed up time twice until we get to 44,000 feet. Noting how slow it is. The reason why it's slow is because the map numbers come on. Again, nothing really to do but to look outside and avoid the same sights. Do you know why they never made a military version of Concorde? It's because at twice the speed of sound, if it opened fire with the guns, it's travelling faster than the speed of bullet, therefore it would shoot itself down. It's also the same reason why there's no windows on the toilets, because people are looking at 33,000 feet. Right, back 1.5. Again, I'm speeding up time twice the speed of sound to get this process complete. Sorry about the coughing. I really need to get something that stops that. Okay. We're reaching the magic 44,000. Again, this is important. 44,000 is 1.7. We're going to hit vertical speed on. So we're turning max climb off. We're going to throttle back and throttle back up again to make sure we heats off. Because the air is so thin up here, it can still do its thing. It's not a problem, it's still climbing. What we can do is we can hit max cruise on, and the aircraft is now controlling it, so it continues to increase its speed. It is important that you do that. Leave this at 350 because there's no problem with 400, it's just an extra thing to mess around with. Let's check the map briefly. See how far we've got to go. Just press some buttons. Someone's pressing some buttons. Okay, 200 miles before, nautical miles before you arrive, you must descend. This move on is a good one. So once we hit move on, we'll descend. I'm now going to speed up time up. Let's see what happens. Once, twice. Back numbers slowly coming up. If anyone's writing to me, I really can't see it on the view. I should see it. Let's pull the drawer out and choose my words on here. Finding. 3 times. Popping around a bit twice again. So we can really can't see it 3 times. Still on twice acceleration on that. Now, because we've got vertical speed mode on, if you want to, you can crank up vertical speed. There's no point, because it's going to get there eventually. 58,000 feet, 60,000. By 60,000 feet, we're going to hit Mach 2.2, and then the aircraft will increase to Mach 2.012. Okay, I'm on normal time acceleration. It's just normal time. The aircraft will throttle back. around a lot, just hit the turbulence button. Your flight computer will do the steps as it goes because it's close. I mean, it hasn't been because I've skipped quite a lot, but it will step these automatically whilst you're following the flight route when you get somewhat close. Ah, look, the engines are turned down now. At 2.4. So look at that, plus 124 degrees centigrade, outside temperature minus 57. Wind chill factor, minus 100. Because I'm over water, I can break this down low, which is why I'm going in a straight line. So let's talk a bit about these for landing, for setting up the aircraft landing. These are our ILS indicators, and this is our, I forgot what it's called, you guys know what we're talking about. We need to make sure this is centralised at all points for landing whilst on the ILS landing glide slope. If the bar goes to the left, it means you're too far left, you need to crank it to the left a bit. If it's right, you need to go to the right. Nice and simple. That's the general heading of where it needs to be. It works on the same as this. This is the general heading of where we're supposed to be going, which is why we need to program certain things into flight computer at some stages. GPS traffic, breeze. Ooh, look, we're getting close to Louisville. See? It's a nice easy flight. Talk about landing again. This button here to swap nav 10950 is quite important because that is the radio frequency for the ILS beam. Back beam allegedly turns you back course if you wish to do that. I'm not going to do that, I've never used it either. So these are quite important to track lock and heading hold actually. We can probably set up the aircraft for landing now. Now what I'm going to want to do is continue flying to Moville. We want to try and take the aircraft along down here to this point here. Then we're going to spin the aircraft around, turn it in so it hits Randy. I've drawn a line in a little nav map that comes out from the airfield along this way to about here, which I can jump on. It doesn't do this in here. It's probably something out here we can do it, excuse me. And then what we do is we set it for, there'll be OEJN, and we set the flight computer for runway 34 Charlie, which is centre. Now, when you hit 34 centre on the map, so when you hit this, you'll get given some numbers to choose from. 34 centre is 336 degrees. People complain that Cairo International ILS doesn't work. It does. It's on 05 centre on 044 degrees at 109.9. This one here is 34 Charlie at 336 and we're 109.500, so we're just going to double check 109.500. If this does not match up with this, you must do a manual landing. You can still set up for auto land, which is fine. Auto land will work, but you'll need to manually fly in, so you need to turn off the autopilot to manually fly in. What else is useful to know? Yeah, so once we've set up on the ILS approach, we will set this and then we'll turn radio nav so we can get the system trying to catch the beam, because it takes a while to do this. Do not think that auto land is auto land. In 1960s, auto land meant we will get close to you, we'll get you close to the runway. Basically the same as modern aircraft do right now, but it won't actually land it, so don't make that mistake. Think auto land in the 1960s, it's not. Altitude hold. So what we can do is set the aircraft up 350 knots. We're going to we should let's turn the map off. What's doing that? Really, we should set as a realistic descent 38,000, then 10, then 5, then 3.5. But I'm just going to hit 10 for now because I can, and then we're going to hit maximum nose down because I can. I'd rather get close. Twice time skip again. Once we hit move all, we need to take the aircraft right slightly. Oh yes, getting ready for that turn. So this is where track heading is great. Let's get the bug, hold down shift, and we'll whiz the bug around shift because it goes quicker. Shift mouse wheel. We're going to hit 150 degrees. Twice time skip. If we don't do that, it's going to wander all over the place, and sometimes it'll even fly you back to your start again. You would not need to mess around with that if you're following the waypoints. It does absolutely fine waypoints because we've jumped one. So, we're about to hit move all. Again, track heading. This is why I said you need to do as I've suggested to land this thing as opposed to what manuals and everything else says. Let's just make sure we're in slow acceleration, normal speed, no normal speed. Okay, indicator airspeed acquired. So we're turning it to go back down to 350 knots. Also saying, please drop to 10,000 feet. Now, that's about 100 nautical miles, so it will overshoot. See, it's automatically descending. So we're going to increase the vertical speed. In non-VR, this shows up better. Oh wow. Turn it off. Descending. There are a few times alarms might go off. That's just because we're exceeding the flight speed for the nose, which is why we should have done the descent a lot further away, but I can't really be bothered. Oh, flight plan was set up in SimBrief, by the way, but amended to start from wherever hard landing I was at, and also to land on runway 34. So we get a little bit of wind speed. This is all moved, we can ignore it. We just need to time skip down 10,000 feet now. Map. Oh look, good angle. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hit heading hold, and we're going to hit 90 degrees to the left on the dial. So 90 degrees left, here's okay. Now I just need to make sure we're far enough out, so I need to tab out to little nav map. Little nav map. Base path, whatever, does not just fire new. I have to start looking at that afterwards because otherwise it crashes. Download flight plan, great flight plan. Good. Now we're in the right zone. So yeah, we need to keep going a bit more because we're 36,000 feet. Yeah, this is fine. Airspeed decreasing on twice acceleration at the moment. That's the same So we're now turning the aircraft because it will slow it down. Twice speed acceleration to get rid of that noise. We can now increase or decrease the rate of descent. In reality, you'll descend a lot earlier. I'll let it do its thing. So, yeah, this is good. Press the no button GPS. Click speed up. Speed way over there. This is a long way, so we can take our time and not rush. Let me tab back out again. So I'm looking at the map. Okay, tab back in again. Getting ready for the turn. So I said that AJN was a heading of 336. The heading hold. I'm going to whiz this around to 336 shift. The reason why we're going to try and get close. 336. What alarm is that one? That is. I've done that. That was last week. So I'll tab back again to the nav map. So what I'm doing is I'm roughly working out where the turn's going to be. I think it's going to be now. Track heading. So we're going to go around to 336. We're still descending. And whilst we're descending, we're going to set the aircraft up ready for landing. Actually, I need to look at that. We might actually be pretty good on that beam. We will need to set up the angle to the next, whatever it's called. What I think we need to do in a second, we need to set the aircraft up ready for descent. So we're going to hit 240, remember, because when we hit 5,000. Altitude acquire. Still trying to acquire that. So I'm going to hit time, speed up time. So altitude hold is on. I'm going to set this up ready for landing. I'm going to go 5,000, altitude acquire, and I'm going to go indicated airspeed acquire. I'm now going to hit the bug button, so I want to go left click, right click, so we can scroll it down like that. That's fine. Let's tab out slightly to see where we're going. Can't really see it. So speed up time a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twice the speed. Come to 5,000. Airspeed will do its same thing. Normal speed. Press barometer a couple of times. There may be an alarm that goes off. We'll try and avoid that. Tab out to nav map, so we've got this. Okay, so I need to come right slightly because I'm a bit off course. So we're going to go 350. Tab back to nav map, sorry. Just tabbing. I have to. It's not normally something that's worried about because I'm not normally streaming it. Jump, 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 jump. It is jumping forward a bit. We are nearly there. Right. So, I wish I could show you what I've done with nav map. I can't. I've drawn a line out from a little nav map that allows me to see what's going on. So is 336. So now we're going to come back to 336. So it allows me to jump on that beam earlier, and I'm going to set the aircraft up ready for landing. Altitude hold is on. We're going to whiz this down to 3005, and then we're going to do some cool things once we're nearly there. Bit of time skip to sit. Okay, so we're slightly left of the beam. So I'm just going to do a little bit of messing around on that to get onto the beam. 330. Ah, look at this. So, because we're close to the beam, we're going to go Control 5. We need to go direct 2, left mouse button, left eye, up. Runway 34 Charlie. We're going to hit runway 34 Charlie. We're going to go temporary direct 1. Just do it. Don't ask why. Okay, this is now all set. I just need to check that nav map and go back to 336 quickly. 336, and now we're going to set this thing up ready for landing. So we need to go indicated airspeed acquire 240. We need to drop down to 3005. At that point, we're going to crack the nose down. Now let's slow the aircraft down, and we need to check this. So this is 109 500. We're going to go 109 and then 500. Do the same on this side. 109 500. Good. Don't worry about that. That's saying because we're going too fast. We're now going to hit radio. So we're right at the beam. I'm just going to check that. Yes, the beam needs to go right, so we're actually tracking it. That's nice. So we're going to hit the heading bug down there so it goes right. And now we're watching this slider here. When the slider goes down to the middle, if you set the aircraft up correctly, you must hit INS followed by land, because it will lurch the aircraft around and then nose down. If it doesn't lurch and nose down, you need to go back again. 336. I've gone over the bug. Normal speed here. So we're waiting for this to start coming down, but I'm monitoring the radio heading. Now sometimes we won't follow it directly straight because it won't work that way because of wind variances. Okay, I've hit 336 for now. We're still okay. The bug's starting to come down. We're now going to do this. We're getting it ready now. 337 technical right. So it's going to be INS quickly followed by land. Once this is dropped down to below half, and then we'll set the aircraft up for landing. Look, we're so close. So it's dropped below, it's caught the beam. INS followed by land. If we've done the right thing, the nose goes down. Nose is coming down. We're now going to set the aircraft up ready for landing. So pull the speed bug down to 220, indicated airspeed. Stick the flaps, nose all the way down. I'm going to stick wheels down, wheels down. We're now ready for landing. Landing speed is always 180. Remember, we need to turn these off, so I've got a key that turns them off. We're heading down the centre there of runway 34 Charlie. Auto land is technically on, but remember it doesn't auto land. I'll just hit that again, just make sure we've got this set. 2 markers. At 500 we want to make sure we're definitely doing 180 miles an hour. We're going to now slow this down to 190. Indicate the airspeed 190. The nose will come up a bit. I also want to make sure that I'm sitting up in this cockpit a bit better. Oop, wrong way. Okay, I'm sitting over that. Okay, fine. So airspeed's coming down 190. We are. What the hell's airspeed? Reducing. We've got to be 190, otherwise we're too fast. So 190. I probably should have done 190 a little bit further back. So we're going to whiz this to 180, and then I'll be hands off the nose for a bit once we concentrate on landing. As soon as we landed, we'll keep it straight, and then we'll do reverse thrust. Make sure. Landing configuration is pretty good. You can do 170 depending on weight, but landing speed is generally depending on weight. I probably should have set the nose up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the weight here very quickly. I know I should have done this earlier. It said that this should really be on 54 for landing. I forgot to do that again. It really makes a difference. Absolutely no difference balancing it. I don't know what it does. Okay, so 500 comes along. I'm now going to set knots 180. If you're flying in 2D view, you need 180 about now. And then I've got ready for that. At 100, I'm going to take control of the aircraft. I've throttled all the way back. I'm taking control now because we are too far. We're too far to the left. So that's autopilot off.
100.
100. Normally now on anything else, that's come off. Nose comes
50,
up.
40,
50, 40, 30.
30.
It's not happy. It's telling me it's wanting to stall. So we're just holding it there for a second. That's fine.
30.
Down. Stupid thing. Brakes are coming on. Nose goes down. It looks terrible, doesn't it? We've got reverse thrusters on. I'm trying to hit outside view so you can see. Reverse thrust comes on. I mean, it's a pretty good airplane. It slows down by itself very nicely. Good. Right. That was quite intense. And that's it. That's how you take off and land in Concorde. Let's go over there. Right, so I've kept everything off. I kept the VATSIM off. I've kept all the rest of it off. I've kept it all nice and simple. I mean, you didn't need to set this here. I've never even bothered with this for the past couple of weeks. Balancing seems to do absolutely nothing. Pressing all of that shit behind does nothing. Pressing all of this stuff up here seems to not do anything, because really we should be in flight mode. Oh, I mean, it just looks like it's doing it automatically there. Let's park over here. And there's also sort of takeoff mode and cruise mode as well. Climb mode and cruise. I don't know if that does anything if I hit that there. So it looks like ready for landing. It does change this. See, look. Nothing at all. No difference. Anchors on. And Control Shift E for engine off. And then boom, VATSIM's complete. Excellent. If you have any further questions, please post in YouTube, because I can't see anything else. No menu. Yes, continue. For more instructional videos, please Google someone else. Only kidding. OBS, let's stop that now. And then see if it's uploaded to YouTube. OBS, that'd be nice. It can't. For some reason, I can't get that working at all. Stop streaming.